Okay, so we're going to chain up 2 again, so 1 and 2, and now we're going to start our 2 to 3 ratio. So to the very next one on the line there, we're going to put 2 double crochets in a row right together, and then the next 3 on the line will get 1 each. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it's the 2 to 3 ratio. So the next one gets 2. So 1 and 2, and now the next 3 will be singles. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the next one is a double. So it gets 1 and 2, and now the next 3 in a row are singles. So 1, 2, and 3. So okay, so this one gets a double. So 1, 2, and the next 3 is a single. So 1, 2, and 3, and the next one is a double. You should know that after this particular rotation is that we are no longer going to be doing anything like this for the remainder of this project. Okay, so continuing to go around. Okay, this one is single for 3 in a row, so that was 1, 2, and 3. And the next one is a double. So 1 and 2. And the next one is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the next one is a double. Okay, and the next 3 in a row are singles. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and this one is a double again. 1 and 2. And the next one is, next 3 are singles. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and the very last one, so you only have one left, so you got right there, this is the part of the slip stitch area. So just the last one is going to be 2 doubles. Okay, sorry, 1 double, so 2 in the same one, and then let's slip stitch it by just going into the stitching area at the top, pulling through and through, and now let's turn your material, and now we're ready for the next rotation. Okay, so if you've actually been writing this down, you'll know that you're on a rotation number 7 at this time. And now what we're going to just do is chain up 2 like we did before, and now we're just going to go into every stitch around just once. Okay, so let's begin to do that. And so there's really no, I'm going to take you around this particular rotation, so it's just 1 half double crochet into each one as we go around, and we want to repeat this. So we're on row number 7 right now. We want to do this until we finish row number 14. Okay, and 14 is that when we start the fold. Actually 15 is when we start the fold, but I want you to finish up to row number 14 doing the same. Now because you are working on this pattern and you're now putting 1 half double crochet into every position, I'm just going to pull that out. It's just getting tangled, too tangled for me. So as we work our way around, you will notice here that this hat takes several rotations for it to actually come around and do the shape. Okay, so it's one of those things where you almost have to think it's too small before you start thinking that you're going to actually make the shape. It's one of the hardest things about hats. You think, oh, okay, well, I've got the right size, and then you start doing the downward, which is kind of like what we're doing right now, by just putting 1 into each. It takes several rotations for the actual final size to settle, and I've been known for that in the past where I've gone too many rotations because by the time that you go all the way around several times, you realize your hat is much too big for you. Okay, so we're just going to finish up. I just want to show you how to, again, just at the end, as you complete up to row number 14 on your own. There's no point filming all of these rotations because it's all the same. So you could use slip markers to put your start and stop if you wanted to. That's up to you, but I think it's pretty obvious to where you stop and start. Especially if you're using variegated yarn like I am right now, is that you can pretty well tell when the pattern doesn't line up properly, that you know exactly where you've started and stopped on each rotation. But again, you're the artist and you decide what makes sense for you. So get your piece of paper ready and that check off number 7 and then just work your way to number 14 on your own. So again, we just want to finish up. Okay, so we don't have any more to go to because this here is part of that rotation. So just into the top of there again and pull through and turn your material and mark off number 7. Okay, so let's get you to work on to number 14 and we'll meet back as we start number 15 when we start doing the fold area. That's how simple this whole project is. So we're now finished row number 14, and I always consider that the interior is actually the exterior of the hat. Okay, so you've kind of worked it into a bowl. So what you're actually looking at is the inside of the hat. So now we're going to create the actual fold, which is permanent, into the material. So if you don't want to do that at this point, you can just single crochet yourself around instead of doing exactly what I'm about to show you next. Okay, so grabbing the material, we want to chain up 1, and we want to then go into the back loop only. Now every stitch that you see here is actually contains 2. Okay, so there's 1 and 2. So those are considered a stitch. But if you went into the front one only, the one that's closest to you, that's the front loop. But if you jump over that one and go into the back one only, that's the back loop. And so what I want you to do is single crochet into the back loop the entire way around. So going into the next one, just the back loop. Okay, single crochet. So back. So once you start doing a few, you'll notice that the back loops start becoming very obvious to you where they should be. And what this is doing is creating a line in the material, which is helping to make the fold, because you're only going into 1 stitch instead of 2. So instead of just watching me go all the way around, just go do that, and we'll meet back up and where we will continue again. So we're picking up on the very back side now of the single crochet, and again we just want to slip stitch it. So you can actually slip it just in the top of the one that we started with the chaining of 1, right? So there you go. So now you can actually see that it's got a little bit of a change to the pattern to see it, and you'll see that it's kind of folding on in. Okay, so that's what you want. So what I want you to do now is that we want to repeat this, not repeat this same thing, but we want to chain up 1. Okay, and now we just want to work into the next one again. So let's turn the material, and now we just want to go into the first stitch as normal. Okay, so nothing to do with the front or back loops. And what I want you to do now is rotate around this thing. So every time you get to the end, just do your slip stitch, turn your material, and we want to repeat that 3 more times. Okay, so do this one plus do it 2 more times, and then if you think the brim is long enough, which I think it would be, because I just want to sell it just a simple brim to it, but if you want a longer one, you just got to keep going around. And then what we're going to do now is that I'm going to do that off camera, where I'll have the brim already completed, and again I'll show you how to cast off. So if you want your brim to be bigger at that point, then you just keep going around as many times as you feel like it. Okay. So let's meet up at the end where we'll cast off, and we'll call this project done. It is now time to cast off, and I've just slip stitched on the final of the brim. I'm just going to cast it off over my hand. And now, because I know that a child is going to be wearing this and they might be grabbing at it, I'm just going to pull the material out, just like so. Just pull your needle out, and I would just slip it into the next, put your hook into the very next stitch on the line, and pull it through, but still holding the material. You just want to put it through again, because so it's kind of causing a knot onto itself. And then what you need to do is then start hiding the straggler into the actual brim of the hat. Okay, so just around and around, just like so. So go about an inch, maybe 2 if you feel that strongly about it. And then what you want to do now is that you want to turn, before you go any further, you do want to turn your hat the proper way. So let's turn it out, just like so. Okay, and now you can fold it up, just like so. Okay, so now that you know where the fold is, what you can just do with the straggler is that, so you know that this is on the inside of the brim, is that you can just come down somewhere in here. Okay, so just grabbing underneath the stitch somewhere. Okay, just on this side of the material, you're just pulling it through and just pulling it through there. Okay, because if you have that end right at the actual brim there, you will actually see it. And then again, pick another area underneath, just on this side, so that hook didn't go all the way through. And again, maybe one more, just to hide that. Okay, so pull it through again. Okay, so now what I want you to do, and you can see that really separated out. So now pull it, pretend that you're a child and pull on it, stretch it, just like so. And therefore you'll know exactly where you can cut this thing, because now that you've stretched it, that would have pulled out. So just pull it, trim it nice and close, just like so. So now it's well hidden in there. I'm going to fold it back up, turn it around, and voila, you've now finished your new baby hat. Well, this is it. It's my 2 hats, and thank you very much for joining me today on behalf of the Crochet Crowd and AllFreeCrochet.com. We thank you for joining us today in this fabulous baby hat tutorial. Take care, everybody, and have a great day.